Julie.
Where? Okay. Oh, cool. How about that?
Oh,
Isn't that nice?
red curtains.
Yeah, and today we are episode number 228 of What Does This Button Do? Yeah, it's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us.
Geeks on tour.
All right. So while we're here, click the bell. Really, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things, like us. You know what you need to do there.
It's good to be liked.
Yeah, it is.
Click that thumbs up.
Click that thumbs up. Quick tip here, Chris.
Snapseed. So this is our topic for today is the free app from Google called Snapseed. And I'm so excited because this is truly one of my favorites. It is a free app, but you do have to install it. You get it on your iPhone in the App Store or on your Android in the Play Store. Very, you know the drill. So if you have an iPhone, go to your App Store, find Snapseed. If you have an Android, go to your Play Store, find Snapseed, download and install it. You can use it in conjunction with Google Photos. This is actually my favorite way. So I want to show you how. We have a pre-recorded segment.
Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and I want to show you how I use the Snapseed app to improve my photos. I'm starting in Google Photos, and this is an Android. I'll do it on an iPhone in a minute. This is the picture I want to edit. I tap the Edit button in Google Photos. Then swipe over on the horizontal menu until I see More. Snapseed, if it's installed on your phone, should appear there. Now I'm in Snapseed and I want to choose a tool. Tools. And the tool I always start with is Tune Image, the first one. Once you're in the tool, you swipe up and down on the photo to choose the specific option. In my case, I'm going to use Ambiance. Once you've chosen Ambiance, then you rub left or right to increase or decrease the amount of that option. Notice when I rub over to the right, the photo gets richer. You get more detail in the shadows and a darker blue sky. I like that a lot. And I tap the check mark to say I'm done with that. One other thing I want to do with this picture is take out that extra car back there. See, I want it to look like we were the only ones there. That's Tools and Healing. Now I get it so that I see that truck and I just rub my finger on it. And it's gone. Check mark. And I am done editing this photo. I tap Done, and I am back to Google Photos. I can view my results here. Now I'm going to do the same thing using an iPhone. Snapseed works the same, but getting to it and back from Google Photos is slightly different. So here I am in Google Photos. Here is the picture, the original picture that I want to edit. You swipe up and tap Open in Snapseed. Once here, I tap Tools, Tune Image, swipe on the photo until I choose ambiance, then swipe right to increase the amount of ambiance. I think a fairly subtle difference, but just beautiful. You can look at the difference between your original and what you have now with this button in the top right. There's my original. There it is with the ambiance. I like it. I tap the check mark. I want to get rid of that truck. I tap Tools and Healing. Zoom in a little bit. Touch on the truck. And I don't like how that worked, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There. Check mark. And there is no done. In the iPhone, you have to tap Export and then Save. And then you have to manually go back to Google Photos. It might take a minute before the photo from Snapseed shows up in your Google Photos, but then it will be next to your original on iPhone anyway. It'll have a new date for today in Android. And that is how easy it is to make your pictures more beautiful using Snapseed. Give it a try.
All right.
So that I just wanted to make sure that people know that you can get to Snapseed from Google Photos. But for most of this session, I'm going to be using Snapseed standalone because I want to make it clear that you do not need Google Photos. Snapseed is an app all of its own.
Okay. Real cool. So, what do we have here? Got a bunch of people saying hi.
And saying that it's cold where they are. What is it here? We're in South Florida and it is 63 degrees. It's a little cool for us.
Yeah, it is. Michael Daniels, thank you so much. We love Snapseed. It is an amazing tool. Michael did a great show on Pixlr, a workshop on Pixlr yesterday. And
another photo. That's actually an image creation tool.
It does a lot of things, and it has some artificial intelligence. It has a free piece, and anyway, that was cool. Thanks a lot. A lot of our friends out there, Tech for Senior, Bill and Karen, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Tom,
yeah,
Linda, Nancy.
Hey, above zero.
Yes. Whoa.
Oh, no, thanks. Hi, Jalen.
Central Florida, not too bad.
Julie.
So Julie thinks it's cold. she's
right
just
around
right
the corner. Berlin. Hi, Detlef. Gates.
All right. Look at all these people.
There was an earthquake in Southern California.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tanya, Atlanta, Delray Beach, not too far. Mission, Texas, been there. Joel, Southern California. Did you feel that earthquake?
Snowing in New Jersey.
Still
yeah.
snowing? I thought that was
We have
over.
friends in New Jersey that showed us
pictures.
Covered cars.
I sent a picture of our backyard with the palm trees and the sun shining to those folks that are sending me pictures from snow covered.
Oh, you're nasty.
Ha ha. Anyway. Monrovia. Richard, Peggy George, Phoenix. Okay. Very cool.
Okay,
let's do our slideshow. What do you say?
Yeah, because I got a lot today.
Okay.
I hope everybody's focused and wearing your thinking caps because I'm going to throw a lot at you.
Okay. Did that. And I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone, your iPad, your Android tablet and phone? And gosh, how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads,
Yeah.
but we are geeks who teach. We think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a continuing basis. So we come up with a topic for this YouTube show and go into a little bit of depth. And this is episode 228, and they are all collected along with other things on our website at geeksontour.com.
All right. Where are we now, Chris?
We are home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's fairly warm here.
Compared to a lot of places we know.
We
Yeah.
did just take a little road trip. We visited our friend up in the Gainesville area because she just bought a road trek. So our road trek had to go visit its little sister now.
All right. And hello to our live viewers. We have a bunch of you out there.
I see that it's 86. Is that on YouTube or Facebook or both together? I don't know.
Okay, cold. Anyway, a bunch of you out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you guys, especially our premium members. And one of the things that we do for our premium members, they make our work possible. We have a backstage pass. That's one of the benefits. It's a Zoom meeting right after this show. You can come and you can talk to us and with each other. So it's a community. And you get the link from the email that Chris sent out earlier. You did send one out, right? I did. Or you can go to our website, geeksontour.com, and the member login, and it should be right there. Go to work, Chris.
Okay, so first I want to make sure you realize that Snapseed isn't just my favorite. Android Authority says this is the photo editor we'd recommend first, followed by Adobe apps and then everything else. iPhone Photography School says that it excels in all basic photo processing techniques and also offers advanced editing features. I do have a lot. So photo editing with Snapseed, it is a mobile app. There is no version for computers, neither Windows or Mac. It is for iPhone, iPads, iOS, and it is also for Android. But one thing I'm going to show you today is that Chromebooks, although they look like a laptop, they can run Android apps. So Snapseed can be used on a Chromebook, and I will show you that. So you need to install the app, and there's one setting that I want you to look at before you start using Snapseed. So let's show you that here. And it's in the same place whether you're on Android or iPhone, so it doesn't matter. That's Snapseed. And the three dots in the upper right corner, I just want you to check and see that under the settings, it is not resizing your image and that it is saving them in JPEG 100% quality. You don't want your editing in Snapseed to reduce the quality by accident. So those are the settings to check. Okay. Next is we're going to use it. So I'm going to use Snapseed just as a standalone app for most of the class today. I'm going to start on the Samsung. So this is my Samsung phone, and that's an Android. And there is Snapseed. It's the green leaf icon. You tap it. You tap anywhere, but right on the plus is fine, or on the open, to open a photo. Now, this is showing me photos that are on this device. And the one that I want to use is that one of our two little road treks. That's our road trek. That's our friend Alex's road trek. Now, that's the photo. I want to make it a little bit better. So you tap on Tools. Now, I want to show you something at this point. If I'm holding the phone in a landscape mode, I don't see words. That pencil stands for Tools. That is Looks, and that is Export. So you see when it's this way, I have Looks, Tools, and Export. Looks means these filters, these predefined filters here. Tools is all sorts of stuff. So for this photo, I want to go to Tune Image. It is the first tool for a reason. It is the first tool you should learn. It may be the only tool you ever need. Tune Image. There's lots in Tune Image. Once you're in there, notice at the top it says brightness 0. If I just rub my finger up and down, I will see that this Tune Image also has brightness, contrast, saturation, ambiance, highlight, shadows, and warmth. Well, number one, I think this photo should be a little bit brighter. So I slide up and down until I hit the brightness and leave it. Now to increase or decrease, you rub left and right. So I'm going to rub right, and that makes it a little bit brighter. All right. I always try ambiance. It's just so cool, I think. Notice I get greener trees and more detail in the shadows by the vans. I like that. And I will tap the check mark to say, okay, that's everything that I want to do in the tuning tool. I also want to add some text. Tools and text. It says double tap here. I'll double tap and then select all. And I want to just type road tracks. And okay. And then I can move that around. I can change the type. You can do all sorts of stuff in here, but that looks good to me. And I check mark, and that's it. I like the way that picture looks. I'm using Snapseed standalone, so so there's no done that takes me back to Google Photos. Export, and you have three choices: save, export, or export as. And save is usually just fine. The reason you might want to use export is if you're going to use this picture in some other app that maybe doesn't understand a Snapseed editable, but save is what I almost always do. Save. Okay.
Question: what Samsung model do you have?
This happens to be a S21 Ultra. It's a new high end, but it doesn't matter for Snapseed. Okay, so now on an iPhone, same thing. Snapseed is that green leaf. And you tap the plus to open a photo, open from device. And I'm going to get this one, open from device, albums and recents, because these are all the recent pictures. I've been playing all week getting ready for this. And I made sure that the pictures I wanted are here.
You keep pulling it down.
So that's the picture I want to work with. I love this picture of Jim walking on the beach, but is it dark or what? I'm just going to use one of these looks. I really like this one called Morning. One tap. What a difference. Check mark, export, and save. All right. And Apple always needs approval to modify a photo that is on the device. Now I want to show you one thing, and we have a slide on this, but let me show you first, and then we'll do the slide. Let's say, let me go back to my first one, the Android, and the picture of the road treks. And I say, maybe I brightened it a little bit too much. How can I go back and edit that? You've heard of layers probably in Photoshop. Well, Snapseed has what's called stacks. This little button right there is stacks. And if I tap View Edit, I can see that I have my original, and then I use the tune image, and then I use the text. So if I say, I don't like the way that text looks, I can tap on the text, tap on the sliders, the adjustments, and now I can go back to a different font, for example. Or I can choose the tune image and change the options, and I can say, I want it to be a little bit more shadows. And then I'm done. And then to get out of this stacks view, you tap the left arrow. Okay, back to slides. So using Snapseed as a standalone app, Android or iPhone, and just notice the pictures there. If your phone is held in vertical, you will see 3 words at the bottom, looks, tools, and export. If you're holding it horizontal, those 3 words turn into those little icons over there. And when you are done, you tap the export, and then you have choices. Realize that none of these choices will overwrite your original. If you just choose save, it will save over your original, but you can always bring it back in Snapseed and use the stacks to edit, to re-edit anything you did before. So understanding stacks, I already did that. Wow. Now, let's just start looking. Well, how are we? Any questions?
Joel had a question here. Well, he wants us to to show us how to remove background. Does Snapseed do that?
Snapseed does not have a simple remove background. No, you have to use the brush tool, and we will do something with the brush tool later, but there is no just remove background. You'd have to use double exposure, and yeah, there's lots of other tools that do remove background better. What is
So
it?
far.
Remove.bg on
Something like
is
that.
just a free website that you can, yeah. Okay, so there are 28, count them, 28
I can't count that high.
different tools in Snapseed. I'm probably going to be showing you 9, maybe 10, but those first 2, tune image and details, are to me by far the most important. If your concern is just making a picture look prettier, beautifying it, I call it, then the tune image and the details is really all you need. But we're going to go on and show you some more. And I'm going to use the iPad just because it's a little bit bigger, so it's easier to see. It is an iOS device, so you go to the App Store and install Snapseed, and there it is right there, the green leaf. You tap the plus to go get a photo, and I'm going to get photos that are on this device. And they're in my recents. And the first one I'm going to do is this picture of Jim and me in Brisbane, but I want the original, not the edited one. So let me find it. Pairways. Now, this is why I usually like working with Google Photos better, because I know where my pictures are in Google Photos. It can find them for me. Looks like
Sorry,
I don't have.
I can't show you your photos.
See?
Yeah, darn. Looks like that one's already been fixed. Okay, so let me see if I can revert to the original. Stacks and revert.
You need to set the
and revert. What?
Exposure on that. People can't see. That's probably
better.
I don't know.
There, a little bit. Okay, so this is the photo that we took. And, it's a nice shot, but it could be a lot better. So what's the first step? Go to Tools. We're in Snapseed. Go to Tools, and Tune Image would be the first one to change the color and stuff. But this one, I want to crop a little bit first. So I'm going to crop, and I want to get closer to our faces. And that looks about right. I don't want to cut off any of the buildings over there. So I have it cropped the way I want. I tap the check mark to say, be done with that little piece. Now, tools and tune image, and then rub my finger which way to get my choices?
Right.
My choices.
Up and down.
Up and down. Up and down. And I just, ambiance kind of combines brightness and saturation. Now, to get the ambiance, I rub my finger to the right.
Ooh.
And now that's there. Okay. So look at that. You can see if I rub to the left, see how dark and uninteresting? Rub it to the right. And I think that's really good. You can see what the original looks like by tapping this little icon up here. That's just showing you the changes in the current tool. Now, if I want maybe a little bit more saturation, meaning I want the greens to be greener, the blues to be bluer, I went up and down to get to saturation, then left and right to get more or less. Notice if I go all the way to the left, that removes all color. So that's the way to get a black and white if you ever want one. And it tells you up at the top where you're at. That's saturation plus 34. I think maybe 25 would be about right. I like that. Now, Jim's face is still a little bit dark. To do that, if I lighten using the tuning tool, it's going to lighten the whole picture. I want to lighten just his face. So tools, brush. And with the brush, I want to change the exposure. Now I zoom in on his face and I can just rub on his face. I think that's pretty good. And check mark, export, and save. And
one more.
One more. One more, modify. All right. Now I want to open another picture. So I tap open up at the top there, open from device. And what am I? That Lakeshore one. Am I doing time? Okay. Not too bad. This Lakeshore. I'm going to do this one. So this is Fort Lauderdale Beach. And I think it's a really nicely composed shot, but it looks ugly. First of all, it's a little bit crooked. So I'll go into tools and rotate and just straighten the horizon a little bit there and check mark. Now, what tool do I use to beautify it, to work with ambiance? That would be tune image, scroll up to ambiance, rub right. Is that prettier or what? I'm done. And I export and save. Next slide. There. So another couple examples. First one is of Half Dome in Yosemite. We had a great, position to get a picture of it, but look at that one on the left. So bland. And same thing with the arch in St. Louis. The left one is the original. It's bland. Let's make them a little bit better. So I'm still going to use the iPad, and I'm still just using Snapseed all by itself. Snapseed, it remembers the photo I had last, so I have to use open up at the top left to get the picture of Half Dome. And there it is. Now this one, I'm going to use a different tool called HDR. It's kind of like ambiance, but it's more heavy duty. Pencil and HDR scape. Boom. That's pretty cool, right? Right like that. I'm going to check mark it. Then I'm going to go to details and rub to the right. Notice how things just get sharper. It looks, I think, a lot more like a professional photograph than something you just snapped with your phone. You do have to be careful not to go too far. I have a tendency to go too far.
So do I.
Because I say, oh, that just looks so pretty. Now, somebody else might say, oh, it looks a little bit overdone to me. So, you do have to be a little careful with these tools. There, that one's pretty good. And check mark and export and save.
Okay. So, yeah. Whoops.
Oh, he says he found it later.
Oh, okay.
Oops, found it. Okay.
When I hit save, where did it save it to?
To your device, to the device. So if I go out, I'm on an iPad. So I would go to Google Photos to see that picture now. But if you don't use Google Photos, you would go to the Apple Photos and you would look at your recents, and it's been saved in here. There it is. And I just did a save. I didn't do a save as. So there's just one photo, and it is the edited photo. Can you lighten the tree on the left? It seems really dark. Yes. So let me go back to Snapseed. This picture is still loaded. Edit and brush and exposure. And I need to up the exposure, right? Yeah. So increase. It's at 0.7 right now. I could maybe go to 1, and then you just start rubbing on the tree. Now that's too much, isn't it? So I'm going to tap the X to say, nope, never mind. Forget that. Let me try it again. Brush and exposure. And let's just do it 0.3. And that doesn't, well, yeah, I think that's helping. So that's what you do. If you just need to affect one part of a photo, you use the brush tool.
Okay. Linda says she found her photos.
All right.
Under pictures.
All right. Good deal. Now, if you're looking at them in Google Photos, realize Google Photos keeps photos in order by date. This photo was taken, I don't know, some 2004, I think. So it's not going to appear at the top. It's going to appear in 2004 next to the original. All right. And one more. Where are we at? Maybe I don't have
Healing
to do
tool
one more.
is where we are.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have another sample, though, that I want to show. It's a rainbow. And it's actually Niagara Falls. And I want to show how you get the rainbow to look extra bright. Looks like I already... There, I need to revert. I must have saved this one over. Edits. All right, never mind. Never mind. But so how did I get that rainbow to look extra bright without making the whole photo blown out? I did it with the brush tool. The brush tool and the saturation feature. So I brushed saturation just onto the rainbow. Okay.
Okay.
Back to slides.
Can we place text under the photo instead of on it?
No, this is not a photo management tool. It is a photo editing tool. Whatever you do gets done to the photo. If you're talking about captions, that's all different.
Okay. Question about date and time. Original or created date?
Original date. Original date.
Okay.
Except in some instances on the Android, Yeah, that's I do have a slide on that.
Okay.
So the healing tool, this one is great. And we have a pre-recorded segment on it.
Hi, this is Chris Guld, and this Show Me video is about using Snapseed and the healing tool. Heal. And here is my example. He's got a scratch on his face. Well, you don't want a picture with a scratch on his face. Open in Snapseed, Tools, and now the hardest part is finding it in all of these tools. There are just so many, but it looks like 2 Band-Aids. It's called Healing, and it's the 2 Band-Aids. And I want to zoom in, so I'll use my 2 fingers, zoom in, and then just touch. And that's all he needed. So I'll check mark, export, and save. Another example, beautiful picture of a pumpkin patch, except for that stupid piece of garbage. Open in Snapseed, Tools, Healing, and touch. Log on. I have another example. So here, I want to take this whole sign out. Open in Snapseed. It is a great tool for small things that need to be removed, not so much for the bigger things. So I'm going to try it in one swipe. And often that's the best, but I have some left over. Well, I'll swipe there again, and now I have some water up in the trees. I'll swipe again. I'll swipe again. You know, that looks pretty nasty. You can undo. So every time you tap undo, it undoes one of the times you touched the screen. All right, until I'm all the way back. Now I'll try that again. How about I'll zoom in and I'll just do the top part, and then I'll do the middle part, and then I'll do that. That's not too bad. But you can see, if you wanted to take that whole tree out of the Grand Canyon picture, I don't think so. There are better tools for that. But if you just need to do a little bit of fixing, this is great that it's here. Check mark and save.
Whoops. There we are.
Yeah, that healing tool is great for little things, but an awful lot of photo editing tools these days have gotten really good at removing. My Samsung, the phone itself, the gallery app has a remove object that works better. But still, it's there when you're working with Snapseed. The Google Photos eraser on your S21. No, I don't have the Google Photos eraser on my S21. I have the Samsung Gallery remove object on the S21, and it works really well. We have another video on that. So you can, if you really need to remove an object like that sign and you're not happy with the way Snapseed works, you can remove it with whatever other tool you have, like Samsung Gallery, and then save it, and then bring it into Snapseed and do what Snapseed is good
Phyllis
at.
wants to know, can you use Snapseed once the picture is in an album?
Yes, and I will be doing that when we get to the Chromebook and using Google Photos. Yes, you can. All right, so using a Chromebook, Android apps are available for Chromebooks. If your Chromebook has the Play Store, so that's the key. And I think all new Chromebooks these days do. But you do need to have that Play Store installed on your Chromebook. Then you go into the Play Store, you find Snapseed, and you download it and install it. It is an Android app, but Chromebooks can run Android apps. Now, optionally, you can use the Google Photos app that also would need to be installed from the Play Store.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to do that now. And I'm going to show you, that Niagara Falls and this dark gym. I'm going to make dark gym be visible, and I'm going to do that on the Chromebook, still using Snapseed in standalone mode. So here's what you're seeing on the screen there is the Chromebook, and now you're also seeing me, and this is my Chromebook. So you'll be able to see when I rub the screen or do something else like that. Okay. So you need the Snapseed app. How do you get your app drawer from the Chromebook? You click on this little dot in the lower left-hand corner and arrow up. There is Snapseed. I have installed it. There is the Play Store. So I'm just going to open Snapseed. And now I get a photo. And once again, since I'm using it just standalone, it's only looking for files on the device. Now, I do have other choices over at the left, but I made sure that the pictures I wanted to work with are on the device. And here's that one gym at airport. Now, the sky outside is perfectly exposed, so I don't want to use tuning and brighten the whole photo. I just want to brighten Jim. Now, I can use either my finger, because this is a touch screen. So let me start with that, and then I'll show you that I could also use the mouse. So I tap on Tools and Brush. And now I see dodge and burn, decrease or increase. I see absolutely no difference between dodge and burn and exposure, and exposure makes more sense to me. So I chose exposure as the effect, and then 0.7 as the amount. Now I can just rub on Jim. So I'm just rubbing with my finger, and he's lightening up. Not enough, though. So I'm going to increase that to a full 1, and I'm going to zoom in on his face. Now I can rub on his face, or I can use the mouse. Since this is a Chromebook, I can use the mouse to do the same thing as rubbing with my finger did. So if you're more comfortable with the mouse, this is a cool way to go. Or the trackpad, same thing. I can be rubbing with the trackpad. You have to kind of push down, though. The trackpad isn't quite as, but it is the trackpad that you would need to zoom, pinch and zoom. All right, good enough. I'm going to do check mark and then export and save. Okay, now I'm going to open one more, and that will be this one of Niagara Falls. So this is my original picture of Niagara Falls. First, I want to make the whole picture a little more pop. So there is a look over here called pop. And wow, the whole picture looks better. And the rainbow looks pretty bright, but I want to see if I can get it even brighter. I click the check mark, and I'm using the mouse now for that. And now I want Tools, Brush, and Saturation. So I choose the saturation. It's at 10. But now look, if the circle is too big to just hit the rainbow, well,
If that's for me, I'm not here.
I can't make the circle smaller, but I can make the picture bigger with the two fingers and zooming out. So I just make the picture to the point where the circle fits the rainbow. Now I can rub it with the mouse or with the finger, whichever you're more comfortable with. Now it's 2 fingers to move it around because 1 finger is applying the effect. And now I'm saying, well, gee, I don't know, did that make a difference or not? I can see by touching on this little icon in the upper right and let go. So can you see that? Yes, indeed, it did make a difference. Not a whole lot, but enough that I think is meaningful. I'm done. I export and save.
Okay. I
245.
could not find my Snapseed app on my iPhone. All it took was Chris joining me and showing where it was. John says, I have a pen for both my Android tablet and my Chromebook, and they work wonderfully as an alternative input.
Oh, when we have that pen sitting right here, and that I didn't think of that. I'll do the next one that way.
Right.
But I see it's already 2:45. Yes, you can. Absolutely. So, and Michael asked, can you go to the Google Photos app? Yes, but you must be going to the Google Photos Android app. So you cannot use Snapseed from the Google Photos website. And I'll make that clear. I'll open this picture. I'll tap on edit. And I only get the web-based edit tools. If instead you use the Android app for Google Photos, it looks different. There is no web address bar. And when you tap on a photo and tap edit, you get the Android edit tools. Come on. That go horizontally across. Then you have More and Snapseed. And then what I think is awfully nice is once you've done whatever you want to do, I'll just do a pop there to get more, and you check mark, then you don't have to export and save. You just do a done. But that will create a second photo, a brand new original photo is how that works, but that's fine. Okay, next I think we have another pre-recorded segment.
Okay, Linda has a question. How did you download on Chrome?
How did I download photos? I went to Google. All my photos are in Google Photos. So I went to Google Photos. I opened a photo. I tapped the 3 dots and clicked download. And now it's in my Chromebooks download folder.
Okay. Slides.
Yep. And then we did that.
Okay.
No, this one's too long. So I just want to point out, if you can use the brush to apply any of the tools that are available. So there is a tool called Lens Blur, and you can make the whole photo be lens blur, and then you can use the stack brush to paint that lens blur just onto the faces. So you see, if you can see that in this sample here, and there is a whole video on that, just go to our website, look for video 596, and you can watch it. It might be for members only, but we don't have time. We don't have time now. No.
Okay.
Next one, because this one I definitely want to play him. The double exposure.
Okay.
This is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and in this video I want to show you how to use Snapseed's double exposure feature. So here is my example, Jim and me walking down the beach. How did we get this picture? We didn't have anybody else with us. We didn't have a tripod. So how did we get the picture of the two of us? Well, I took a picture of him. He took a picture of me. There's the picture of me. There's the picture of him. And I used the double exposure feature of Snapseed to put them together. Let me show you how. So I'm going to open up Snapseed and go get the first picture. And it is on my device in an album called Recents, and there is the photo of Jim on the beach. So he's the base picture. Now I tap on Tools and Double Exposure, and I'm going to add another image. I'm going to open Albums, Recents, and there is the picture of me. Now I want to just point out that that comes in as in the default style where they're just all combined exactly right. There's a bunch of other styles in here, but the default style looks just like that. Now, one thing you have to notice is, see how on the base picture is the one of Jim and his beach. Then the added picture is the one of me and my beach. And Jim's shore break is going right through my neck there. So that's because of the transparency. So I'm going to go to transparency and put it all the way to opaque. Now that's just talking about the added picture. The original picture is already opaque. You'll see how this works. I check mark. I say, okay, I'm ready to then put them together. I have to go to the Stacks brush. Tap on the Stacks tool, View Edits. The only edit was the double exposure, but instead of it being a solid double exposure, I want to paint on just me. So I take the paintbrush. It says, okay, here is your number one picture. What do you want to paint on? I have to just, oh, notice that it's saying double exposure 100. So where I paint me on, it's going to come in at 100%. That red shadow is called a mask. Let me take that off and I'll put it back on in a minute. All right, so you see I've painted me on, but I've also painted on a little bit of my beach. I have to subtract that. So down here you decrease until you see 0. Now I'm going to zoom in and I will be subtracting the part of my picture that I don't want. Now this can take a little bit of time, and here is where that mask comes in handy. If you want to see, like I'm not sure, do I need to subtract stuff from here or not? The mask will show me where I have added the double exposure and make it a little bit easier to get rid of it. And it's 2 fingers, by the way. It's 2 fingers to move the screen around, and then 1 finger to do the adding. And I think I got rid of my arm here. If I take the mask off, yeah, I think I got rid of my arm there. So I need to go back to adding 100%. And yeah, so there's my arm, and then decrease. So this is a little bit of work, but pretty cool. When you're done, you tap the check mark, and then to get out of the stack brush, you tap the back arrow, and then you can export your photo. And that is double exposure, adding one photo to another or just a part of a photo.
Okay,
All right.
back to slides.
Okay. Improving faces.
And there's lots more you can do with that double exposure too. I mean, I wanted to do this, but there's just not enough time. If you have a picture of a mountain, say, and the sky is just completely washed out, you can find another picture that has a beautiful sky, and you can double exposure it and paint the good sky onto the bad sky. And lots of other ideas as well. Improving faces. People always ask this, and I like, if you can see that picture on the left is the original. And when did I get to be such an old, wrinkled lady anyway? But using
Have you earned any of those?
yeah, I've earned every single one of them. That's fine. But it's also kind of fun to erase them and make it look better. And here is one more
Geeks on Tour.
little video.
And this Show Me video is about how to improve faces using Snapseed's portrait tool and face pose tool.
The last one, just because this is fun, everybody always asks, can you get rid of the wrinkles? And yes, there is a feature. You can also brighten up the eyes, move the chin up, and put a smile on their face. So this is a picture of my mom, and use the tool called Portrait. And it automatically applied a face spotlight at 70%. So her face is brighter than the rest, and her skin has been smoothed a little bit. But let me show you more in detail. Skin smoothing. It says, so I have face spotlight, skin smoothing, and eye clarity. Skin smoothing, and I rub to the right. And can you see how there are no wrinkles now? I rub to the left, the wrinkles are back. I rub to the right, and it's like it's been airbrushed. Let me show you the eye clarity. So watch your eyes as I rub to the right. I rub to, oops. Now that, I was showing you what there's the original picture. And there, now I did a little bit too much eye clarity, I think. Original picture, after improvement. I'll accept that. Then the last tool is, and just because it's too much fun, head pose. And watch it. So her chin, notice how her chin is kind of down. I think she should be looking more up. All I have to do is rub my finger up. There you go. And she has actually a pretty nice, actually kind of a Mona Lisa smile, but just watch what it does. If I go down here to the adjustments and choose smile and rub to the right. Okay, good. On that note,
I always like to end with that one.
That is a fun one.
All right.
True that. Okay. Curves?
Yeah, I'm not going to. Curves. If you are a professional photo editor, you understand curves. I do not understand curves, but I have played with them, and Snapseed does have curves. So this one example is I took a photo of a negative. That's an old negative that I just put onto an iPad screen that was white, so a light table, if you will, and using curves. And I took a picture of it with my phone and bringing it into Snapseed. If you just totally reverse the curve that goes from bottom left to upper right, you just totally reverse that, you get a positive. And then it needed a little bit more red. So that's what that read. Anyway, yeah, curves is above my pay grade, as they say. I'm not a professional photographer, not a professional photo editor. I just like to make them look as good as I can.
Okay. Well, did you learn something?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Here's some questions.
I've been having so much fun playing with Snapseed this week.
And yeah, it's a great program. To increase the intensity of a given feature, rub your finger A, left, B, right, C, up, D, down. Intensity.
To increase the intensity, right. Decrease, left.
What Snapseed tool will remove a scratch? A, brush, B, heal, C, curves, or D, HDR scape?
Heal.
Okay, true or false, Snapseed will overwrite your original with permanent edits.
False. That is it. It can't. It will overwrite your original, but with edits that are re-editable, or it creates a brand new original.
True or false? Snapseed also has a version for computers.
False, false, false.
Yeah, it's such a shame too, because on my Mac or on my PC, I would love to have all the tools that Snapseed has in a free tool that integrates so nicely with Google Photos. So,
But as we show, if you have a Chromebook
yeah,
that runs Android apps.
Now my son uses a Android emulator on his laptop in order to use Android apps, and he can use Snapseed to do that inside this emulator. So yes, it can be done if you really want to. So if you need to apply fixes to only part of a photo, use what tool?
Brush. The brush tool.
And if you change your mind about a fix you already applied, use A, stacks icon, B, right-click the photo, or C, menu revert.
The stacks icon.
And you only need 2 tools to beautify a photo. What are they, Chris?
The first 2, tuning, which has a bunch of different tuning tools, and the details.
Okay. A reminder, the Backstage Pass for premium members after this meeting using Zoom. If you got a link, just join there. If you didn't get the link in an email, you can go to our website at geeksontour.com. And we may be old dogs, but we're always learning new tricks. Sign up for our newsletters. You get the books, all the books, including the newest edition of Learn Google Photos. Become a member at Geeks on Tour. Go to geeksontour.com/join now. Subscribe to this channel. Get the book. You can get that on our website or on Amazon or Kindle. We really like the Kindle version because it is searchable and has a lot of cool stuff.
Has live links.
Live links. So, Chris, what's the webpage? Lists all of our YouTube shows.
Geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show.
And the menu item that has all our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com, the menu item is blogs and news. Newsletters are under there.
And why do people pay us to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, there are member benefits. You can ask us questions on our Q&A page about anything. You get the Backstage Pass, which we can continue this conversation, access to hundreds of Show Me videos, and the written notes. So, for example, sometime within the next week, I will have the written notes done for this episode that has links to everything else you'd ever want to know about Snapseed, and that is for members only. And some people become a member and pay us the money just to say thank you for all the free stuff that we do.
Thank you so much. Okay, become a member. It's $60 a year. Geeksontour.com. Join now. Do it today. Backstage Pass is happening in just a few minutes. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
We are Geeks on Tour. Thanks so much for watching.